Hello and welcome to a brand new makeup transformation. It is your weird creative makeup artist friend Cat Sketch to bring you another makeup video. Today we're going to talk about really spooky stories that you guys have emailed me and sent in while turning into the bride in black from the Conjuring series. This person suggests that we do this makeup, so let's get started. So you can subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos like this. We do videos every Monday and Friday here. Not only beauty makeups like this, but body paintings, effects videos. We tell spooky, scary, creepy stories as well. So you can hit the notification bell for some more. So like I said, we're going to tell some spooky tales that you guys actually emailed me and sent in. If you guys want some of your scary ghost stories or just scary stories in general told on this channel, definitely email me at contactcatsketch@gmail.com. Title it Cat's Spooky Tales. And let me know if you want to be anonymous or not, because this first person definitely wants to be anonymous. We're not going to know their name. And they're saying that this was the scariest night of their lives, and they're going to give a little bit of a backstory for some context for us to better understand. Their husband and them were newly married, and they had to move on the other side of the world to Misawa, Japan. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Their husband was in the Air Force, and this was their husband's first duty location. And if you've never been to Misawa, Japan, because I haven't, this person says that it's very rural, meaning out in the middle of nowhere. And just a side note, I'm going to do this makeup full just creams and something that you could accomplish if you want to recreate this look for Halloween, because I was going to do a prosthetic, but I don't have any that look that similar to mimic the nose, and I feel like I want this attainable for everyone, since The Conjuring is such an amazing series that everyone has been asking for. But rural Japan means out in the middle of nowhere, you know? There was a lot of farmland surrounding the areas, mixed with dense wood. And one of these areas happened to be right behind apartment buildings that were called towers. And this person says that they lived in these tower apartments because, you know, it was closer to the base where her husband worked. They always felt more comfortable there, and they said that they had a weird vibe and joked about it in the north area, which they called the northern half base where they lived. Because to them, this area gave off really creepy Silent Hill vibes. If you don't know about the Silent Hill series, oh my gosh, people have asked me to do makeups from that as well. Silent Hill is such an iconic, scary movie and series and video game. I'll be throwing up some pictures if you don't know or are not familiar with Silent Hill series. Very spooky. But when they walked through this area, they would always be on guard because they said that it wouldn't be a surprise to them if something spooky like popped up or random things popped up around them, so they're always on guard. Anyway, they said the first couple nights at their place were absolute bliss. It was going great. They were newly married, very young, and on their own for their first time as well. They had zero furniture in their name, but luckily, they were able to get loaner furniture at the place they lived in the meantime. Their bedroom dresser set that they got with the furniture came with a mirror attached to it. I'm going to be using the Lunatic Cosmetic Labs for this look because it has all of the perfect cool tones and warm tones for contouring. Now, the person writing in says that they're always hesitant about mirrors because at night they feel like if they look into mirrors, that they're scared that someone's going to be looking back at them, staring back. But this time, they allowed the mirror to be in their room, which was, in their eyes, mistake number one. This person's husband would leave work early in the mornings, and since they were a new wife with zero responsibilities, most of the time they would sleep in the mornings. And they said it didn't take them long to feel as though something was a bit off. They would hear stories about the tower apartments that they lived in were haunted, and that the Air Force base that their husband was at in general was haunted as well. Some of the locals that this person's husband worked with wouldn't even go into certain buildings and rooms because of the energy it gave off and bad vibes it gave off in general. But she didn't want these stories from locals to get into her head because, you know, she had to live there And, I don't blame them, the person writing this. But one night, they woke up in the middle of the night feeling as though someone was right beside their bed staring at them. I love how I'm doing this ghostly white face makeup while telling these stories. And the problem is that they kept envisioning this dark mass just standing there. They decided to wake their husband up and ask their husband if they could push the bed towards the wall just so that they won't feel as exposed at night when they're sleeping. And even after that, they woke up again that night to the same feeling, but instead of it being beside their bed, they felt as though it was at the foot of the bed. This obviously made their heart start racing and they could not go back to sleep. As the days progressed, things kept escalating. This thing just seemed to keep messing with them. And they started feeling like they were going crazy because soon it progressed to them hearing dragging of like someone dragging their feet on the floor. It was almost as if it was dragging beneath them on carpet, and it was terrifying to say the least. Now this night is when it got real. It's a couple weeks after they moved there, and their husband was very aware of what was going on at night with them. But their husband hadn't experienced anything personally, so it was easy for him to dismiss what they were going through. But whatever happened that night to them both, their husband also experienced it, and they still don't talk about it even though it's been 10 years since this has happened. It was Sunday night, so they decided to try to go to bed at a decent time, but their husband was scrolling on their phone continuously at night. To this person's knowledge, they were still asleep. If you ask their husband, it's a different story. This person said that they had sat up in bed, but it wasn't them. Their movements were different, how they spoke was different, their whole demeanor and attitude was totally different. This husband says that this person, the wife, was mocking them and discrediting their beliefs, laughing to him about God, laughing in manic words to the point where the husband definitely says that his wife was possessed. She woke up to him crying and shaking her. Waking up to the moment where a completely grown man had that much fear changes a person, she said, and they spent the rest of the night in the bathroom for a very long time in that bathroom, and they couldn't get the image of a black figure out of their head. She begged her husband to not go into work that day so that she wouldn't have to be alone in that apartment. The next day they called to have the loaner furniture be picked up, and they felt that whatever energy that was in that place was from the loaner furniture, from whatever previous person had it and owned that furniture. People came and got the furniture, said their goodbyes, and left. They noticed that when they went back to that room, the one thing that they forgot to get was the mirror of all things, that freaking mirror. And when they noticed, they just so happened to run down the 4 flights of stairs to meet the people that were picking up the loaner furniture to remind them about the mirror just before they were packing up their things to actually leave the premises. And she said, "Excuse me," in Japanese, "but you forgot the mirror." And the man says, "We do not have on our list of the loaner furniture to pick up from you a mirror at all. It's not on the list to pick up." She could not believe her ears. She begged these people to take the loaner furniture, including that mirror, and eventually she talked them into taking that mirror with them. Thank goodness. They used the room that used to be their room that they slept in with that mirror as like an extra room, since there were, I'm guessing, other rooms in the house as like a guest room that they used for storage, and they never went or slept in that room again. This person was definitely afraid of ever becoming possessed again. They still have visions of that figure every now and again. I am so grateful that you wrote in to the person that wrote this story. Their heart was racing, and I could tell the whole time writing this story. Thank you so much for sharing your story. This is terrifying, and it's so eye-opening and interesting. I definitely believe that possessions exist. I definitely believe in the afterlife and ghosts, you guys know. This is just scary all around. So this person didn't say if they want to be anonymous or not. But when they were younger, they lived in Tombstone, Arizona, which is known to be spooky and haunted with a lot of spirits. It was an old mining town, and them and their sister were walking along this town, which was only a few miles wide and a few miles long. The only touristy stuff they got was for the OK Corral, and their grandmother did housework and cleaning and karaoke. And while their grandmother was working, this is when they would go and walk around town in their spare time. Their aunt had 3 sisters, and they came across a house that was burnt down with an old jungle gym outside. And it had an old swing set, and they found a baby doll at this burnt house, their aunt did. And she found a journal, but after this, she would have bad nightmares and dreams and really weird experiences since she found this doll and journal. A few years later, their grandma moved houses, and the grandma's dress that she wore during her jobs of singing was just lying around the house. It was rumored that their apartment that they lived in, before they lived there was a man that killed his wife and buried her body under the house under the bathtub of the bathroom. And for her sister's birthday, she fell asleep on the top bunk when they were having a birthday party at that house, or the apartment. She woke up with a cold chill and a man by her side that she came face to face with, which was the man known, she said, who killed his wife. A few years later, they were living with their roommate, who was really hard to live with because they just had a hard time coexisting, communicating what they really needed, living there, etc., etc., One night they couldn't sleep and they kept dreaming. I can't believe I'm doing this makeup from The Conjuring while I'm saying this story. They kept dreaming of Valak, which is the possessed nun demon figure from The Conjuring. They kept dreaming of Valak walking back and forth near their bedroom door. And they slept with their bedroom door open so that their cats could come and go as they please. And as they woke up from their sleep, they heard and felt a presence near them, as bright as day, and they had a message to tell them and please be on their way. And as clear as can be, they heard the message, whispers in their ear, "Get out." And 2 weeks later, they moved out of that place. Scary, huh? I am going to put a wig on and the outfit, and we will be back. And just like that, we have completed today's look of the Bride in Black. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Definitely email me at contactcatsketch@gmail.com. Any of your spooky, scary stories. If you have a tale that's terrifying to tell. If you want to be featured in these videos, and let me know if you want to be anonymous or not. This was so much fun to do. These spooky tales you guys sent me in this video were amazing. The one about Japan was phenomenal. I definitely want to do more Conjuring characters and other characters, so definitely leave me a comment on what other characters you would love to see me do in these videos. If I choose your character, I will definitely shout you out. And I'll see you guys in the next video. You can always subscribe for more videos every Monday and Friday, and I'll see you then. Bye!